Good morning, everyone. Quick confession. This is now about the 10th time I've tried to make this video. My kids keep interrupting me, and I can see my neighbors through my window. They probably are wondering what I'm doing. So if it goes wrong, I'm just going to go with it. I've already done this so many times. I'm just allowing it. So good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is okay. As we start week forever in lockdown, I don't even know when it is. Hopefully I've got some interesting thoughts to give you today. As my neighbours are looking in. I met a friend the other day and we talked about our lockdown experiences, and he mentioned that he'd been to see another friend during lockdown, and it had made him realise that he didn't need to keep the same group of friends that he had in lockdown coming out of lockdown. And lockdown was giving him the opportunity to prune and cultivate who he was friends with. Thankfully, I made the cut and I made the list of his friends. But I was reminded of a verse in Proverbs 27. And if you've ever been to a men's conference, you will know this verse. And it says, as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. I remember going to a men's conference in Bradford, and they had this verse as their slogan for the entire weekend. On stage, they had a massive anvil, and the speakers were waving around a sledgehammer all weekend. I think at some point, someone even drove a motorbike onto the stage. It was all super masculine. But this proverb is for anyone, not just alpha males. In fact, the whole chapter, Proverbs 27, has some really interesting things to say about friendship. So check it out after this video. So as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. And the idea is that you find people who are similar to you, with maybe they're like-minded, you've got the same goals. And if you hang out with them often enough, then you will see progress and growth in your life. And it seems like a really good idea, but let me give you a couple of thoughts this morning. It would be really super easy to ditch all the annoying people in your life after lockdown. You could cultivate your friend group so the only people you hang out with are people that think like you and believe like you. And people do this on social media all the time, and it's a way of avoiding angry people on social media, which is not necessarily a bad thing. And it makes for an easy life, and I'm sure you've heard similar ideas expressed in different ways. But here's the thing about how iron sharpens iron. If you've got some iron and you want to sharpen some other iron, you basically heat it up and you hit it really hard. So iron sharpening iron is not a nice experience. Coming out of lockdown should give us cause to question who we hang out with and what relationships we cultivate. But remember, we should always do this with the same kind of mindset that Jesus did. And in Jesus' squad, the people he chose to hang out with, he had tax collectors and religious zealots. And they would have been at opposite ends of a very rigid political idea. They would have thought each other a lot on Facebook, if that's a thing. They would have been hurling abuse at each other before they were hanging out with Jesus. And in Jesus' squad, he also had a man who would go on to betray him. So your friends probably don't seem so bad now. So iron sharpening iron involves lots of heating and lots of banging. You'll have some friends who irritate, and I know that could be me. I might be that friend. And it's tempting to ditch them after lockdown. But what if they needed your friendship more than you needed theirs? What if they were relying on you as a friend in a way that you didn't understand and realize? In Ephesians, it says that we should be humble and gentle, and we should be patient with each other. We should be patient with each other and make allowances for each other's faults because of our love, because of your love. So iron sharpening iron is not always a pleasant experience, and you need people that will champion you, but you also need people who will challenge you, people who get on your last nerve and make you say, "Give me strength." People whose politics, whose ideas and football teams are different than yours. I'm thankful that I come to a church that isn't full of people like me, but people who know more stuff, who have different ideas, who vote differently for different reasons, and some of them even support Manchester United. Because it is in that friction of difference and not just the comfort of the same that iron sharpens iron. Now, with all this heat and friction going around and banging, I'm also super grateful that we have a cooling agent and a lubricant. The Holy Spirit can bring calm and peace where anger and bitterness wants to dominate. So as iron sharpens iron, we absolutely need the Holy Spirit to be in our lives, to bring some lubrication, and some cooling. So and it's something we absolutely need more of at this time in life. So why not this week just reflect on what I've said, maybe pray into this, maybe ask God to show you who you need to be friends with, and in those challenging relationships, just pray that the Holy Spirit will bring some cooling and some lubrication. Don't forget to keep an eye on our social medias this week as we release vouchers for you to attend in person next week. It's really, really exciting. So hopefully we'll see you on Sunday. Thanks very much.